So what we're going to look at next is our Clinicians as Educators, which is an effective teaching skills. It's a micro-credential. So micro-credentials are a relatively new concept in higher education. They're like a bite-size program that you can do. So if you haven't studied for a while and you're a little bit rusty, or you're concerned about studying at master's level and you feel it might be a large jump for you academically, micro-credentials are a really nice stepping stone. So they're a standalone module where you choose a module. This one is 10 ECTS, so it's 10 credits. It's at master's level. And the idea would be that you, over time, could stack these modules. So you take a small bite-sized module and you might do 2 more modules at 10 credits that are related to education. And then you can apply for a major award of a postgrad certificate. Or you can do 6 by 10 credit modules. And again, there needs to be a related topic so that you're getting a body of knowledge and evidence in one topic, and to have a postgrad diploma. So these are nice ways of professionally developing. If you already have a master's and you think you don't need another master's, but you haven't learned effective teaching skills formally, this would be a really nice teaching course to do, to give you that professional qualification, and not be too onerous as an academic undertaking. So our next intake for this module is in March this year. And it is in essence a teach the teacher course. We're going to teach you how to teach. I've carefully designed this to be very clinically relevant. I'm really mindful, obviously I spent 20 years in clinical practice. I know the challenges of trying to teach as well as deliver a service. So it's very practically minded. I've very much designed it that it can be done on the fly, that you have you learn how to plan sessions, and such that if a teaching session is sprung on you, say at the end of a ward round, that you're ready to go. You have a lesson plan on your phone, and you can deliver quality education. You can assess based on best evidence. So it's very practical. Like I said to you, it's 10 credits. It's a level 9, so it can stack towards a master's program. I've done it over about 5 weeks. It's 1 day a week maximum that you would be expected to attend. And the requirement is you generally have to have a medical degree, a level 8 medical degree. So the program is only for physicians and surgeons. Okay, so how I approach developing this particular program, because it's skills based, there's lots and lots of practice of teaching, feedback, practice assessing feedback. Do a buddy system where you can work with your peers and give them feedback and observe them. We have discussion boards so that you can post discussion titles and foci each week, and you can discuss and get your peers' feedback and opinions on various aspects related to teaching. So it's very interactive, it's very student-centered, it's very active. You need to get involved and do, and as you know, for skills are doing rather than talking about, so it's important that you actually do. So it's very proactive approaches that we use. So the idea is that, like I said to you, the end of the program, we want you to be able to actually plan a lesson well. Have that, like I said, on your phone ready to go for small or large groups, so that that you're always ready to teach and teach well. You'll definitely improve your presentation skills, because you'll be doing presentations. You'll get feedback off your peers. You'll observe your own peers doing presentations and see how they approach. And obviously you'll get faculty feedback as well to help you progress your skills. And we'll also look at how you can plan an assessment. Many of you might assess in OSCEs and various things with or without any training. So we'll give you, the knowledge base to underpin how assessments run and should run. And then obviously look at ways of evaluating yourself as a teacher, so that you're constantly improving and developing your own professional identity as a teacher. And Daniel here did the course with us last year, and he really enjoyed the program, and it's fantastic. I mean, the best outcome from a teacher's perspective, or an educator as I am and you are, is to see that he has found that it actually helped him to mentor others in clinical settings. And that's always the goal with any of these educational programs and academic programs that we teach you is that we want you to transfer that into the clinical job so that it's contextually relevant for you. It's not a standalone knowledge-based program that doesn't relate to your clinical practice. It always has to translate across to your clinical practice to improve you, to improve any students that you're going to mentor or supervise, and obviously making you all better is going to impact positively on the patient. So it was great to have Daniel and all his class last year. So, you know, the learning side of it, like I said, it's about lesson plannings and presentation skills, practical tips as well on, managing students' behaviors. If you have students that are challenging in the classroom, how do you manage these situations? So it's a very practical course. It's very much, like I said, based on the clinical bedside teaching. Big part of it is learning from your peers because you're all excellent. So you learn from each other. It's just honing those skills and getting some feedback. Also, we have a full day of where you can practice feedback and have feedback on your feedback. So it keeps that whole cycle continuum. We teach you how to write a teaching philosophy statement, and also the assignment actually sets out a structure of a teaching portfolio. So from your career perspective, you will obviously be clinically competent and assessed over time. Many of you will do professional examinations. You'll start your research. Your research outputs will be, searchable on Scopus, and people will be able to see what your research outputs are like. But often by the time you get to consultant level, the missing piece is the teaching, evidence of teaching. You're unlikely to have kept a record of every day you ever teach. So the idea with this course is to get you thinking about that earlier in your career. Start your portfolio, start reflecting on a couple of teaching sessions a year, getting some feedback and keeping that. It can be an electronic profile. It doesn't have to be paper. So that by the time you get to senior level and you're looking towards independent practice as a consultant, that you will have that data ready. So that's the idea of the, the practicality of the assignment is to prepare you for the future. So you'll see there from the dates that we've sort of spread it out so that it doesn't run over a hugely long duration, but there's gaps. It's spaced learning, so that you have time to go away and think about what you've covered on day one and assimilate that and maybe practice some of that clinically, see how it went, come back to us on day two. We'll debrief and look and see what worked, what didn't, hone the skills even further, and then move into feedback. And then we have micro-teaching assessments. They're always fantastic days where yourself and your peers will present and get feedback. And it's really interesting. We've often had students that have picked the same topic unknowingly, but to see how they approach it and present it from two completely different angles is fantastic. There's such great learning from that. You only need to attend one of those days, the 22nd or the 23rd. You don't need to attend both. That said, last year, the students that presented on the first day, the majority of them asked to come back on the second day because they wanted to watch the rest of the presentations because they enjoyed them so much. So you are, of course, very welcome to attend all of the programme. So that's a summary of our Clinicians as Educators Micro-Credential. So I really do hope to see some of you starting with me in March this year. So thank you very much for listening.